Hi, hello, and welcome to another Prodigy in the Bag video. My name is Bradley Williams. I'm from Austin, Texas, and I will be taking you through the discs I throw for Prodigy and the plastics and molds that I prefer. We're going to go through what I'll be competing with in the 2015 United States Disc Golf Championships. To start off, I throw the 400 plastic because it's soft and I can get a firm grip in all conditions, and the plastic's durable enough it's going to prevent wear and tear, so you're going to have a long life on your plastic. For drivers, I throw the D1 400G plastic. These are for high hyzer shots that land in the fairway. Very overstable. For a little bit more flex and extra distance down the fairway, I go with the 400G D3. These two I pulled out just for the USDGC, so I have a backup. This is going to give you a little bit more glide, and we're going to go over that later in some throws. Next we have the 400 D4. These are for roller shots, hyzer flip stand-ups, and low ceiling shots for extra glide. When purchasing and looking for a D4, I generally go for a pop top feel. It's going to give you a little bit of extra glide, catch the wind, so you can put a little bit less effort on the shot and still get some float down the fairway. And I carry two of those. Next we'll go over with the Fairway. These are all 400 plastic discs. My main Fairway is the 400 F2. This disc is suitable for all skill levels. It's one of the more neutral discs in my bag. This disc can be thrown flat on slight hyzers and turnover shots. It's going to hold. You can also throw touch sidearm shots with the F2. This is a great all-around disc, and I really recommend it for all skill levels. To complement the F2, I throw the H3. The H3 has a slightly different feel than the F2, but very similar. It's also flexible, so you can get a good grip. This disc has a significant amount of fade towards the end of its shot, so you can a little bit more torque resistance, and for sidearms, overhand thumbers, and chip hyzers also. For this tournament, the USDGC, I put in a F1 400 series fairway driver. This disc is brand new, straight out of the bag. It's going to hold a dead true shot when you add torque. So I use it for the hole 17 for the sidearm shot. That's just in case, you know, I lose the H3 in the water and I need to throw another shot. This is going to go straight onto the green right out of the box. So the F1 just complements the H3 in case you lost it and you wanted a little straighter flight, go with the F1. And then to round out here's the F7. It's for trick shots. It's a lot of hyzer flip shots, tomahawk shots, just touch shots in the woods. It stands up and then kind of balances out of the stand-up. It's not a really flippy disc, but it's real consistent for slight turnover shots. And then here we go. This is the meat of the bag. You can play par 3s, you can lay up on par 4s. Most of my up shots are done with this chunk of discs in my bag here. We'll go with the 400 P2. I like the P2. It's a stable putter. It doesn't have a lot of hard fade, but it's dead true for power shots. I throw a power grip with this disc, and it's not going to torque over. I carry two just because I have one that's slightly more beat in, as you're going to see later in the video. It's going to hold a little bit more turn, maybe turn a little quicker to avoid some trees in a tight spot. So I'll always carry two of those, primary and then secondary. And then this is the mid-range stack. I like the M3 the most. It has a real neutral flight, dead straight in most conditions, has a little bit of fade. I go with the G plastic, as you're going to see later. And then to complement the M3, I carry an M1, just an extra bit of fade, a little bit more security in case there's like an OB on the right. And then last here for putters, I go with the PA3 putter. I like to go with the 300 plastic. It's softer, has a good pop out of the hand, lots of glide, and then has a little bit of fade. There's a bead here to have your index finger on. It feels good for popping off your index finger. Because it's so hot in Texas, I switched to the 350G in the summer months. It's a little stiffer plastic. It's when it gets warm, it's not so squishy in the hand. So I switch over, and I'm going to continue using these for the USDGC, and that's what I recommend for putting right there. In this demonstration, we're going to start off with the D1 drivers here versus the D3 driver. Now these two are brand new, also fresh for this tournament, so it'll probably be a little bit more stable than I'm used to, but we're going to show you how the D1s fly best. These discs are designed for high hyzer shots over trees, and we're going to start off with that shot now. Now we'll do the opposite. We'll do a sidearm. You can see in the video, the D1 driver has a hard, quick fade down to the ground. So you're going to get up and over an obstacle quickly with the speed of the driver, and then pinpoint where you're aiming with for the basket or the fairway you're aiming on a par 4. Next, we're going to switch over to the D3. This is kind of where you're going to want a little bit more play in the disc. These have dome on them, so that you're going to get a lot of glide if you pop them up in the air, and then we're going to show you some flex shots here. So as you can see the subtle flex shot. Once I get it up above 15 feet, you put a little torque on it. It's not a 100% throw, and it's going to flex out and then fade back into the fairway. Now we're going to play a sidearm. So that's not a full power sidearm, that's about a 60% power. You put that's a brand new disc. The second one was a brand new disc. You're going to get a subtle turn in the fairway to get extra distance, and then fade back predictably straight in the fairway. So it's a little bit more extra distance in case you want to get to the pin. Now we're going to go with the fairway class. We're going to go with the F2 first. This is your main fairway driver. You only really need one, because it can do a little bit of everything. It can hyzer, it can fly straight, and it can turn over. And we're going to play a slight turn on this shot here. As you can see in that shot, I put a good amount of turn on the disc, and it carried for a good 30 feet over to the right in the fairway. So it's for extra glide, and it doesn't take much effort. You just have to pop it over and let it glide out. I also could have thrown that flat or hyzer, and it would have held perfectly on that line. It's a point and shoot disc. The H3 on the other hand is going to have a little bit more torque resistance, and it's going to fade hard. So in this case, we're going to have a creek to the left, and we're going to throw this shot into a little bit of a right to left wind, maybe 4-mile-an-hour wind. So it's going to handle the torque, and it's going to hook up right in the middle of the fairway with the sidearm. Next, we're going to go to the mid-range. My mid-range is here. So we have the straight 400 M3. This is a almost brand new disc. The 400 M3, typically a little bit more understable than the S and the G, which these are here. So when we throw this shot flat, you should see a small amount of turn on its own. The disc is going to do it for you. Now we'll go with the G plastic M3. This has been in the bag for a long time. You can already see that the bottom of the disc is faded from all the throws it has, and it still has its stability because it's in the G plastic. As you can see there, the disc still has a lot of its original fade. I just popped it up flat with a medium swing, and it still is going to hold fade. Now we're going to go with the M1 here, slightly more stable. I'm going to throw it very similar to how I threw my M3 G plastic, and you're going to see the same amount of fade, maybe a little more. Yeah. So there's the fade at the end. It's a little bit more fade than your M3, just in case there was OB or a hazard on the right, for just extra confidence. You know, you don't want to hit the tree on the way to the basket. You just want to throw the same shot as the M3. You just want to feel a little safer. Switch to the M1. Now this is my favorite disc to throw. I can do a little bit of everything with these up to about 300 feet. These are my P2 putters, as we discussed earlier. This is more seasoned. I always keep two in my bag, one more straight and stable. This one has a little turn to it. So we're gonna have a little fun with this one. We're gonna throw a high turnover shot, and then we'll do the same with the newer one. These aren't 100% effort. This is a nice smooth swing, and you can see that the disc just is going to gradually hold over into the center of the fairway. It's what you want. You can manipulate this disc any way you want. Now this is my go-to putter. It's just going to be more stable and more straight. It's also a P2. And you can see the subtle difference as it just wants to track out a little quicker than my worn-in one. And that's what you want to have in your bag. You just have something to complement each other. And that's it for the driving class. All right, so this is the last of the bunch. These are my more of my trick shot discs. Maybe I'm in the woods, had a bad tree kick, or I shanked the shot. I'm gonna have to make a scramble, and I'm just looking for gaps that are gonna be, maybe 1 foot to 2 foot wide, and I'm gonna try to throw a trick shot through those gaps, or I'm gonna be in the fairway, maybe playing a tomahawk or a roller. You're gonna go with the F7. When you're buying the F7s, I prefer to go with a little bit softer. There are F7s that are a little stiffer, feel more like stable fairway drivers. I like to go with a little bit softer F7 in the stores, just to get a little bit more flexibility and give in the flight. And then we're gonna go with the D4 driver here, the pop top D4 for rollers. So I'm gonna throw 2 rollers here, and then I'll throw a nice little tomahawk here with the F7. This is a good get out of trouble out shot disc, also for rollers, but mainly just for scramble situations. Real easy to throw. As long as you get it up and follow through, it's going to have a nice even turn. It's not going to turn too quick. It's going to be a nice even turn. Gets good distance, and it's really controllable. You're not going to freak out and have it just swirl out on you. The F7 is great for scrambling. Now we have my D4s, and these are going to be rollers.